Hi guys, it's Sue. Welcome back to Beauty Fortified. If you're new here, welcome. I make hair care, skincare and makeup videos for the more mature woman. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing by hitting the red subscribe button down below and hitting that notification bell as well. And that way you'll be notified of all my upcoming videos. But today I wanted to share with you 5 tricks that have really helped me transform my makeup. And hopefully these will help you as well. So they're just little things that you can do on a daily basis. They don't involve extra product, except for possibly the one thing. But they're just little things that I have found have really helped. Now, a little bit about my skin. I'm 51 years old. I do have enlarged pores, fine lines, wrinkles, and quite a lot of texture. And so these are all things that I look to mitigate on a daily basis when I'm applying my makeup. So I'm going to go on to the tips, and hopefully some of these will resonate with you and you'll find them helpful. Tip number 1, I find that applying a lip balm or something that's really going to moisturize my lips prior to putting on my makeup really helps in terms of applying my lipstick later on. So I go in with Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream, and I do like this because it does contain a little bit of salicylic acid. So it really does help just to smooth really dry and chapped lips. And I find that once I'm ready to put on my lipstick, after I've put on all my other makeup, I just take it off and my lips are really nicely moisturized. So you could use a lip balm or anything that you prefer. I like this because it's really easy to take off. So once it's served its purpose, you just take it off with a little bit of tissue paper or a wet wipe, and then it comes right off, so your lipstick can go straight on. So it doesn't create a very kind of waxy barrier or anything like that on the lips. Tip number 2, and I started doing this quite recently now because I do have normal combination skin. I do wear sunscreen every day as well. I find that prior to doing my makeup, my skin can be a little bit oily. So what I've started doing is applying a thin layer of powder prior to putting on my foundation. And I find that this really just helps to absorb a little bit of the excess oils that have been created by my moisturizer and my sunscreen. And it just leaves a flawless canvas for me to apply my foundation. So today I'm going in, I usually go in with something like Rimmel Stay Matte, and that's what I'm using today. And just taking a really fluffy brush, I'm just going to gently apply this all over my skin, just in a very fine layer. And already it's just taking a little bit of the shine away that has been left by my sunscreen and moisturizer. And this leaves my skin ready for my foundation application. And I'm going to go straight in with my foundation. Today I'm going in with my L'Oreal True Match, and I am in the shade 4N. And we're just going to see, I'll show you that this just applies beautifully over the powder. So just applying my foundation as I normally would, and I find that the powder does not affect the integrity of the foundation whatsoever. So I'm going in just with the foundation brush, and I'm just going to quickly apply that all over the skin. So what that layer of powder has done, it's just basically taken away the shine left behind by my sunscreen. It also just creates a very light base for my foundation to kind of adhere to. And it really helps as well to smooth out the skin, I find. So it really does go a long way just to kind of smoothing out my texture. And because I have normal combination skin, I do have oils peeking out throughout the day, and it doesn't matter what foundation I'm wearing, I will always have to kind of blot. But I find that that very thin layer of foundation just keeps the oils at bay for that little bit longer. So it really is very handy in terms of texture and getting rid of initial shine. And then obviously I will powder over my foundation once I am ready to apply my blush. Tip number 3, so in terms of brows, I do consider them very important. I do fill mine in most days of the week, but I've got an added problem, and you might have this problem as well, is that my brows kind of face downwards, specifically on this eye, all my brows kind of flop down, and not so much on this side. But what I have found that has been a real game changer is using an eyebrow gel. It might sound obvious, but if you do have this issue and you're just not quite sure what to do about it, use an eyebrow gel. So I find even if I have combed my brows up with a spoolie, they look fine for about 5 minutes, and then I do find them kind of dropping down throughout the day. And I think just using a little bit of brow gel just obviously helps to keep them sort of facing upwards, but that's also going to just kind of improve the fullness of your brows if they're not all kind of flopping down. So let me know if you've also got that problem. I use the Benefit Brow Gel. I have yet to find anything that is as effective as this. If you know of anything else, please do let me know. Leave a comment down below, because I am always looking for other things to try. But I find that this really is a great one, and it kind of sets them like hair gel sets hair on your head. Obviously, similar concept. But this really does just keep them all facing upwards and really helps just with giving you a fuller looking set of brows. Tip number 4 is when it comes to highlighter, I apply my highlighter to the cheek area first. Now, I find that this has got 2 benefits. So first of all, you're not applying it after you've applied your blush, which can sometimes leave a little bit of a lighter, shiny, white gold stripe. And then secondly, it also gives you a kind of lit from within glow. Who doesn't want that? And it just helps when you apply blush over the top to just kind of, it kind of becomes one with the highlight, and it just creates a really beautiful glowy effect. Now, again, because of my normal combination skin, I do like a little bit of glow, but I have to be very careful in terms of what foundations I use, and so I prefer to keep the glow to the cheek area. So I'm going in with a little bit of my Revlon Skin Lights. This is in the shade Daybreak Glimmer, and this is a really fantastic one. I have been using this a lot, and I've tried it out on friends. I tried it out last night, and I had some friends over. We had a makeup party and they were all absolutely blown away by this highlight, and it really just looked gorgeous on them, and I hope that it looks gorgeous on me too. I don't see it from the same perspective as I do when I'm looking at somebody with it on, obviously. But it really is a lovely one. So applying your highlighter first is going to solve the problem of those streaks, and it's also going to give your cheeks a beautiful glow. And then the 5th tip is all about applying blush, but this tip can also translate to applying eye makeup as well, and that is to use patting motions. So obviously, as we get older, our skin is not as taut, and we do struggle with applying eye makeup and blush as well, because you don't really want to use the sweeping motion, because your makeup is going to skip. So it's kind of going to skip over the wrinkles if your skin is not taut. And it's very noticeable as well when you do your eye makeup. But so this technique would apply to both, but I'm going to use it applying blush today. I'm going in with one of my Revlon blushes, and this is in the shade Mauvelous. This is quite a highly pigmented blush. So I'm taking a fluffy blush brush, and I'm just going to dip it into the blush. I am going to tap off the excess because it is quite pigmented. And then I'm just going to stamp it on the cheeks. And I really find that this is just a perfect way to apply the blush, because it just gives you some even coverage and application. You're not sweeping it, so you're not creating a stripe as you go back and forth across your face like that. Just stamping it very gently gives you a beautiful color payoff. It's also very gentle on the skin, and I find that it also doesn't do anything to kind of exfoliate which I don't need in my case because of my skin texture. So I don't want any movements that are going to do any micro exfoliation. So just patting the blush onto the cheek area is just a great technique. And as I say, this would also apply to your eye makeup. So instead of swiping it across the lid, you would just take a little bit of the pigment and you would just gently pat it on the lid. I'm going to see if I have got a brush here that I can just demonstrate that with. I don't, all I have is this fluffy brush, but let's go in using this. So if you were to apply a little bit of shadow, let's say that we're going into a palette with just a little bit of green. I'm just going to take a little bit on this brush. So you would just tap it onto the eyelid as opposed to swiping it, because if you have eyelids, if you are over a certain age, then you are going to see that your eyelids are going to become increasingly crepey, like mine are. And I just find that gentle patting motions is really the best way to go. And it's very gentle on your skin. You're not pulling the skin at all. And it just does give you a very gentle application. So now that I have finished my blush, I'm going to take off my 8-hour lip cream, apply some lipstick, and I will be back. So guys, I hope that you found that helpful. Let me know what specific tips and tricks you use to help you transform your makeup. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.